Welcome to day 22 of living from your heart in a 3D world. Well, this is day 22, take 2. So we no longer trust recording on the Mac because I've recorded a 30-minute video for you today, which went poof into the ether. So obviously that was not the correct message. So here we go again, take 2 on day 22. So I just want to recap. Number 1, we exist because you're here, I'm here, we exist, we exist. So, if we exist, then we must be created. We are created from universal source intelligence, divine energy, God's creation, whatever you want to call it. That is what everything in the entire universe is created from. That is just a fact. It is absolute. You cannot be created from a little bit of it and a little bit of something else. At its essence, we are all created from universal source intelligence. Next step, universal source intelligence. That energy is pure love. Pure love and light. It is just, it's divinity. Source energy, divine creation. It is just pure love. And we came here and incarnated into these human bodies to have this human experience as this soul essence. But these human bodies give us the ability to experience the concepts of what we know in universal source intelligence in human bodies which can feel, and we have all our senses available to us, and we can embody the experiences. And that is why we've been coming for eons and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes doing this, and we have experienced the whole spectrum. You name it, we've experienced it. And we've chosen to come here to experience all of these human feelings and emotions, and to understand a 3D facet, like a face imaging scan, to understand it. You can't have one without the other. Without happiness, without sadness, you can't have happiness. Without pain, you can't have what's the opposite of pain? Not pain. But yeah, how do you know you're not in pain unless you've experienced pain? That's a perfect example. How do you know you're happy if you haven't experienced sadness? And so we've come here and we've experienced it in the myriad ways that we can possibly experience it. And guess what? I have good news for you. This is the lifetime where we get to remember that we are actually a soul. We are soul essence, and we've been given this human body to experience whatever we can create in our imagination. We get to paint the picture of our life in this experience. I know I keep using the City of Angels reference when Nicolas Cage chooses to give up his angel rights so he can come down and experience what it is like life as a human, as a mortal. Because he's so fascinated with Meg Ryan, and he just wants to experience that human connection with her. Except he didn't forget who he was. So I know but if you haven't watched it, it's a great movie just to understand how the divine energy, intelligence can understand the concept. They can't taste it like a human can taste it. They use a pear as an example. They only understand the theoretical concept that a pear is sweet and juicy. But because in the divine energy, there is no form. So you cannot experience the pear as a human can experience. Anyway, what our job is here, oh, look at me clapping, I'm very excited. Our job here is to help you remove all the illusions, remove the projections that you are anything other than an amazing, perfect, divine creation. Because once we remove the illusions and you can fully come back into your center, into your truth of who you are, which is a divine soul down here just having fun in a human body. Once you can remember that, then you can create the life that you like to your utmost desire, like whatever is your biggest passion. Like, what does this soul want to experience in this lifetime? We've done the hard stuff. We do not need to do that anymore. We are done with it. Let's get it going. We do not need to suffer anymore. It is over. Now we get to remember. And once you remember, you can choose. So boy, oh boy, what will we choose? Like, what lights you up? What do you want to do? Like, imagine you only had one day left on earth in this human body. Like, what do you want to do? Like, is there anything you haven't done yet? Like, bring that bucket list forward. Get it done. Like, bring it forward. Do not put anything off anymore. Do you need to call up someone and tell them you love them? What do you need to do? Like, what would you do? What would you do if you can choose anything? So I've been relating this back to this 3D world, like how information has been showing up for us in our 3D existence that is trying to unalign us from the fact of our truth and of who we are. And so I was using it before as like the subconscious filing system. It's like stores all of those times you've been told you're not enough. Like, you can't sit with us. You're not pretty enough. You're not thin enough. You're not, like, whatever it is. I am not ... enough, that we have stored this whole lifetime and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. But if we know that we are a divine creation of the universe, there is nothing else. We have to be enough. So any other story or memory that tells you you are not enough cannot be your truth. And so I've been playing around with like how we balance, like we have negative personality traits, or what we perceive to be negative personality traits. And these are basically like what they call your shadow self, like all of the ugly bits. And I've been trying to get you to write them down, to really spew them out of you. Like, get them out, the ugliest thing you could possibly think of yourself. And these have been designed to keep us feeling like we're not enough. It's like, well, I know I have done that. Like, I know I actually am that trait. But now that you know that you're enough, no matter if you are lazy or selfish or rude or whatever it is, the so-called ugly trait, you are enough even if you are lazy, even if you are rude, even if you are selfish. So we don't need to hide, like stuff down those ugly, like feelings about ourselves out of shame and guilt and remorse and regret and all of those emotions. Because our truth is that you are enough no matter what. If you cut someone off in traffic, still enough. If you lie to someone, you're still enough. If you're rude to someone, you're still enough. Is that starting to make sense? Like these shadow aspects of ourselves that we're so afraid to look at. We're so afraid to look at them because we think they're going to prove that we are not enough. But they cannot prove it. Once you know your truth, it is an absolute fact that you are enough, exactly as you are right now. Nothing can disprove that you are not enough. Like, sorry, I got that the wrong way. Nothing can disprove that you are enough. Sorry, I'm like doing double negatives. That's really confusing. You are just enough. It is absolute, no matter what. No ifs, buts, or maybes. There is not a single condition in the universe that can make you not enough right now. I'm doing it again. I'm confusing myself. I'm going to move on and change my language because I'm getting confused. So we use these like shameful personality traits and we try to pretend we're not them because we think if we are them, then we're not going to be enough. But we know our truth and we are enough. So all of those personality traits that you think are shameful or need to be hid about yourself, that is your shadow self. And you are enough with all of them. And those personality traits need to actually be scooped up and hugged and loved and thanked. Like maybe you were lazy one day, but maybe it's because you needed a rest. You were tired. Maybe lazy on that day was actually helping you to physically recover. What if these traits are actually working for you and not against you? Maybe you were rude to someone, but maybe it was to protect your own interests. Like, they might be serving you. They deserve love and acceptance, because when you don't accept those parts of yourself, you do not see yourself as a whole. And that's what we need to integrate, all those lost parts of our soul. Not our soul. Our soul is pure and perfect. Our soul is fine. It's of our beliefs about ourselves. We need to integrate them all back in because we know our truth. And the same goes if you feel like you are lacking in a personality trait, like someone you admire or look up to. I would love to be like that person. The idea that you are lacking in that personality trait that you're admiring or looking up to is just another disguised form of you trying to prove that you're not enough. You have those same traits as that person. Everyone has the same traits as that person. You're just seeing it through a lens, through a perspective that you're not enough. So you don't have the qualities of that person. Sure, the way you exhibit those qualities might be different, but you have them. You most certainly have them. And if you think hard enough, or actually if you don't think you have a quality, go and ask one of your close friends. Ask them, what do we think we could say? Like, maybe you don't think you're funny. Go and ask your friend. Hey, do you think I've ever been funny before? I'll bet you whatever the trait it is you think you don't have, that they can probably pull up a couple of examples of where you have been funny. Want to get really honest? The ugly traits you don't think you have. The ugly traits you don't think you have, like being lazy or selfish or rude. Ask your friend that too, if you want to get really open and see where they're like, well, you were a little bit rude that day to that whatever, in traffic, to that driver in front of you when you cut off and beeped your horn. Or because to them, if you were rude in traffic or you were lazy and did nothing all day and left the kitchen in a mess, to your friend, they still love you whether you did that or whether you didn't do that. Because they're not judging you as harshly as you're judging yourself in trying to prove all the time that we're not enough. When we know our truth, we know our Ace of Swords, our Excalibur of truth is, we are enough. Just exactly as is. I am what I am, and that is enough. There's our mantra again. Repeat it 3 times, morning and night. You get stuck in a loop. I am what I am, and that is enough. And what you are is divine source energy. That's what you are. Of course, that's enough. It created the entire universe. And anyone you admire that you don't think that you could possibly be like, it created them. Also created people that you might not so much admire, but just breathe. and see how integrating these so-called bad personality traits that we're hiding from can actually be the key to freedom and liberation of your soul, like of your heart, of this lifetime. And if you're not stuck in servitude, hiding from these traits all the time, like, oh God, I got to keep going, can't be lazy, couldn't possibly lie down for 5 seconds. Why? So you can clean the kitchen? I promise you the dishes don't care. The floor doesn't care if it gets swept. Lie down, be lazy. Doesn't make you any less of who you are if you do. Don't unpack the dishwasher. Just leave it full. It'll eventually get done when you actually feel inspired to do it. You're no less of a person. You're still enough. If you don't unpack the dishwasher, if you've got a messy house, if you didn't do the washing today, you're still enough. You can just sit there and do nothing and you're enough. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to bang on about. I'm banging on about it. I know I'm banging on about it. Because our shadow, integrating our shadow self, the parts that we feel shame about, and accepting them as a part of us, because there is nothing at all whatsoever that can take away from the fact that you are enough. Okay, so let's just breathe that in. Just realized I've got the wipers going, they're making noise, it's raining. Breathe in how much you are enough exactly as you are right now. Nothing to change, not one single thing. No more performing, no more people pleasing, no more not speaking up for what you actually want, even if it's a little thing. Even if you think in the grand scheme of things it doesn't matter, it does. What you want matters. Just breathe into that. I think I need to address the difference between embracing our personality traits that we think are shameful and unaligned belief systems. I think probably there's a bit of in my own head, I need to separate, clarify it. So stay with me here. So the personality traits that we're shameful of is just a 3D representation of an unaligned belief system. So I'm lazy, therefore I'm not enough. It's the excuses we're making to keep ourselves small and in our not enoughness. So accept, yes, I'm lazy. I love being lazy me. It's my most favorite thing to do. And my beautiful sister Lucy, Lucy and her husband, they have a thing called having a good sit. And when you're having a good sit, they'll do it on a weekend. They are declaring we are having a good sit. And a good sit means there is no expectations to do anything. I am having this time for me, having a good sit. So you need to go and have a good sit. But the trait that you might think makes you not enough, bring it in and accept it, because lazy you is just as enough as productive you. Your worth is not measured on your achievements and outputs. That is the point. Your worth is already absolute, that you are enough. You are worthy. End of. There is no in between. You are just worthy. That's it. There's no other truth. Okay. I love you a lot. I think take 2 of day 22 was actually just a much more succinct version of the first 30 minutes. So I love you lots, and you are enough, and you are worthy right now exactly as you are.